Have you ever wondered how concubines, often seen as mere shadows in the royal court, have shaped the course of history? In the intricate tapestry of human civilization, the role of concubines has been understated yet significant. They were not just silent players in the backdrop but key influencers in the corridors of power. Their stories are brimming with intrigue, romance, and subterfuge. Ready for a journey that will change your perspective on history? Join us as we delve into the intriguing history of concubines. The existence of concubines dates back to the dawn of civilization. As we delve into the annals of history, we find the earliest evidence of concubines in ancient societies such as Egypt, China, and Rome. These societies, each with their unique customs and traditions, recognize the institution of concubinage, albeit with different definitions and implications. In ancient Egypt, for instance, concubines were often slaves or foreign captives, taken by pharaohs and nobles. But don't be mistaken, these were not clandestine affairs. Concubines held a recognized position within the family, albeit lower than that of a wife. In the Middle Kingdom of China, concubinage was a common practice, particularly among the nobility. Emperors and high-ranking officials kept concubines, sometimes in the hundreds, within their palatial compounds. In stark contrast to their Egyptian counterparts, Chinese concubines could sometimes wield significant power and influence. The most famous of these, Empress Wu Zetian, started as a concubine and ultimately became the only female emperor in China's history. The Romans, pragmatic as ever, also practiced concubinage, but with a distinctly Roman twist. A Roman man could have a concubina, a sort of unofficial wife in addition to his legal wife. This was often a way for men to form alliances or gain wealth, as these unions were not bound by the same legal and social restrictions as traditional Roman marriages. Each of these societies, with their unique cultural context and societal norms, gave a different role and status to concubines. From slaves and captives in Egypt, to power players in Chinese courts, and strategic partners in Roman society, concubines held varied and complex roles. These ancient societies laid the groundwork for the institution of concubinage, which would take different forms in various cultures. As we journey further into the past, we'll see how the institution evolves and the indelible mark it leaves on societies across the globe. As we move into the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, the role of the concubine evolved. The societal shifts of these periods echoed in the lives of concubines, leading to significant changes in their status and roles. In Europe, the Middle Ages saw a decline in the status of concubines. The Church's influence over society was at its zenith, and it vehemently condemned concubinage. However, it was a complex picture. The Church also recognized that it was better to have a concubine than to commit adultery. So it was a time of contradictions, where societal norms and religious teachings often clashed. In contrast, during the Renaissance, concubines often held positions of influence. They were frequently well-educated and came from noble families. Their roles were not merely confined to serving the sexual desires of men. They were also companions, confidants, and often the muses of great artists. One such example is Simonetta Vespucci, a renowned beauty of her time who was the muse of the famous painter Sandro Botticelli. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world in Asia, concubines continued to be a common feature in royal courts. In China, the system of concubinage was highly structured, with ranks and roles clearly defined. Concubines were often used to solidify political alliances, and they could wield considerable power, as seen in the case of Empress Wu Zetian, who started her journey in the Tang dynasty as a concubine and eventually became the only female emperor in Chinese history. In Japan, during the Heian period, concubines played an essential role in maintaining the imperial lineage. The emperor's principal wife was often chosen for political reasons and was typically from a noble family. The concubines, on the other hand, were often chosen for their beauty and charm, and it was their offspring who were often appointed as heirs to the throne. The Middle Ages and the Renaissance were periods of significant change for concubines, reflecting broader societal shifts. These periods showcase the diversity of roles that concubines played, from being a symbol of status and power to being influential figures in art and politics. The institution of concubinage did not escape the winds of change brought by modernity. As the world moved into the 19th and 20th centuries, a profound shift in societal norms and values began to take place. The practice of concubinage, once widely accepted and institutionalized, gradually fell out of favor, eventually leading to its abolition in most societies. This decline was largely influenced by two significant global movements: Western imperialism and the rise of feminism. As Western powers began to expand their influence across the globe, they brought with them new laws, religious beliefs, and cultural norms. Many of these challenged the existing social orders, including the institution of concubinage. The Western concept of monogamy and the sanctity of marriage became the new standard, putting pressure on societies to abandon their traditional practices. Parallel to this, the rise of feminism in the late 19th and early 20th centuries further contributed to the decline of concubinage. Women's rights activists fought for equal treatment and opportunities for all, challenging the existing patriarchal systems. The practice of concubinage, which was fundamentally based on the subjugation of women, was an obvious target of their efforts. Their relentless advocacy for women's rights and gender equality played a significant role in reshaping societal norms and attitudes, leading to the gradual abolition of concubinage. However, it's important to note that the process of abolition was neither immediate nor uniform. In some societies, the practice lingered on into the 20th century, hidden behind closed doors or masked under different names. In others, it was replaced by new forms of exploitation and inequality. Yet, despite these variations, the overall trend was clear. The world was moving away from concubinage. The modern era marked the end of concubinage as a widely accepted institution, but its legacy continues to shape societies today. As we delve deeper into this topic, we'll explore how the echoes of this past institution still reverberate in our present day, shaping our understanding of gender, power, and social structures. Despite their often marginalized status, concubines have left an indelible mark on history. Let's delve into the enduring influence of these women on politics, culture, and society. Though the institution of concubinage is often viewed through a lens of subjugation, it's essential to remember that many concubines wielded considerable power and influence. They played key roles in the courts they belonged to, influencing rulers, shaping policy, and often even ascending to the throne themselves. Take for instance Yang Guifei, one of the four great beauties of ancient China. Her influence over Emperor Xuanzong was so great that it led to a rebellion known as the An Lushan Rebellion. Her story illustrates the immense power a concubine could command, for better or for worse. In the Ottoman Empire, we find another intriguing example, Hürrem Sultan. Originally a slave, she rose to become the legal wife of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, and her influence on Ottoman politics was so profound that it ushered in the era known as the Sultanate of Women. But the impact of concubines extends beyond politics. They have also left a lasting imprint on culture and society. In Japan, the Heian period court culture was deeply influenced by the presence of concubines. Their lives, filled with intrigue and drama, provided rich fodder for literature such as the famous Tale of Genji. Their stories also resonate in the arts. From the paintings of the Renaissance to the operas of the Baroque period, and even to modern cinema and television, the lives of concubines have been a recurring theme, sparking curiosity, sympathy, and fascination. So while their lives were often fraught with difficulty and their roles were undeniably complex, the legacy of concubines is undeniable. They navigated the treacherous waters of court life, often with remarkable skill and resilience, and shaped the course of history in ways both subtle and profound. Far from being mere shadows, concubines have been pivotal figures in the annals of history. The history of concubines is a testament to the complexity of human societies and relationships. This intricate narrative weaves a tale of resilience, adaptation, and the constant evolution of societal norms. It's a story that highlights the strength of individuals who found themselves in challenging circumstances, yet they managed to influence the course of history. The history of concubines offers us a lesson in the resilience of individuals. These were people who, despite their circumstances, managed to carve out a space for themselves, to exert influence, and to shape the world around them. They were far from passive figures. Instead, they were active participants in their own destinies, navigating the complexities of societal norms and expectations. This history also serves as a mirror, reflecting the evolution of societal norms. From ancient societies to the modern era, the role of concubines has shifted, often dramatically. This evolution is a testament to the dynamic nature of society and the ever-changing definition of what is considered acceptable or normal. In the shadows of palaces and power structures, concubines held a unique position. They were often unseen and unheard, yet their influence was vast. Their stories remind us of the power that individuals hold, even when they are seemingly powerless. As we reflect on the history of concubines, we are reminded of the power of individuals to shape the course of history, often from the shadows. Our journey through the history of concubines has come to an end. We've journeyed from ancient civilizations, traversed the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, and arrived at the modern age where the practice was largely abolished. We've explored the lasting legacy of these women and reflected on the societal implications. It's been a captivating exploration filled with intrigue, drama, and historical significance. Thank you for joining us on this intriguing journey. If you enjoyed this video and would like to explore more fascinating topics, please subscribe to Time Trail.